nuestra distinguida invitada, a las autoridades institucionales que también están conectadas y presentes allá en San Carlos, a los docentes, a los estudiantes y al personal administrativo. Me complace poderles acompañar en la inauguración de este nuevo semestre académico, a este espacio de reflexión tan necesario sobre la inteligencia artificial y sus efectos en el futuro de la humanidad. Sin embargo, hoy no solo nos encontramos para celebrar la continuación de sus estudios en el tecnológico, sino también para las actividades académicas y para reafirmar el compromiso ético, científico y humano que ha guiado al campus San Carlos desde su fundación un 31 de octubre de 1975. Son ya casi 5 décadas de historia, de transformación y de impacto profundo en la región Huetar Norte y en el país entero. Desde sus orígenes, este campus ha sido mucho más que una sede universitaria. Ha sido un pilar en la construcción de capacidades humanas, científicas y tecnológicas en la región que históricamente había sido excluida. Nuestro tecnológico en San Carlos ha promovido la equidad como principio, la sostenibilidad como horizonte y la articulación interinstitucional como estrategia de desarrollo. Su labor ha trascendido el ámbito académico, consolidándose como referente nacional e internacional en procesos de innovación agroindustrial, liderazgo ético, vinculación comunitaria y una transformación digital permanente. Hoy, en el marco de esta lección inaugural, nos enfrentamos a una pregunta que interpela no solo a la academia, sino a la sociedad en su conjunto. ¿Cómo reimaginamos nuestras relaciones humanas en un mundo cada vez más mediado por la inteligencia artificial? ¿Qué significa la intimidad, la ética, la confianza, cuando los algoritmos comienzan a formar parte de nuestras decisiones, emociones y vínculos? La doctora Machen, con su mirada interdisciplinaria desde la historia, la educación y el acompañamiento estudiantil, nos invita a pensar más allá de la tecnología. Nos convoca a reflexionar sobre lo humano, sobre lo que no puede ser automatizado, la empatía, la escucha, la dignidad, el diálogo y el cuidado. En este campus tecnológico, donde la innovación convive con la comunidad, donde la ciencia se pone al servicio del territorio y donde la educación superior se vive como un acto de transformación colectiva, esta conversación no solo es pertinente, sino que es urgente. Que esta lección inaugural, pronto tendremos el honor de compartirla, sea entonces un punto de partida para el diálogo, la crítica constructiva, para la imaginación y para la ética. Que nos inspire a ser profesionales capaces de liderar con conocimiento, pero también con conciencia. Y que nos recuerde que el futuro no está escrito por las máquinas, sino por las decisiones humanas que tomamos hoy. El Pacto Global Digital nos invita a utilizar la ciencia y la tecnología para el desarrollo y el bienestar de todas las personas. En ese sentido, espero que el espacio de hoy les llene de herramientas para aplicar ese conocimiento en el quehacer de sus carreras, en los espacios sociales y académicos. Muchas gracias y que este semestre esté lleno de aprendizajes, vínculos, propósitos y grandes experiencias. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Ms. Estrada. Now we'd like to invite Dr. Oscar Lopez to share also a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. You'll have no idea how nervous I get while speaking in Spanish from here. So you have no idea really how nervous, how scared I get trying to talk in English. But I will try. I want to say thank you very much. I am very grateful to Marlon and Emily. Marlon for making the arrangement that make possible this activity, this interesting activity. And Dr. Emily Machen for being here, for joining us, and to be in this position to talk with us in this important topic artificial intelligence and how it impacts, how it have influence in our daily life and in our relationships, in our humans' relationships. I think it's a good topic and very important and provocative one. Of course, I am grateful for your presence here, our authorities, our academic staff, teachers, and our administrative staff, students, of course. Hope you will get done all your goals and objectives in this semester that we inaugurate today. And thank you for choosing the Technological Institute of Costa Rica as your house study, as your university, for making us responsible for your education. Hope you will get a lot of realization in this semester, and you will be very happy with us. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez, for your words. Today marks a truly special occasion, an inaugural lesson for second semester 2025. As we stand on the cusp of an era defined by rapid technological change, it's fitting that our first lesson tackles a subject at the heart of our future: AI and the future of human interactions. This is a topic that impacts every one of us, shaping how we communicate, learn, and live. It forces us to ask crucial questions about our roles in the world, where technology is an increasingly present partner. To help us begin this conversation, we have our special guest today, Dr. Emily A. Machen from the University of Northern Iowa. She is the Associate Dean for Student Success and Professor of History at the University of Northern Iowa in the United States. She holds a doctorate in history from the University of Mississippi and has spent nearly 2 decades teaching and researching topics related to modern European history. Dr. Machen's work focuses on the lives and contributions of Catholic, Protestant, and Jewish women in early 20th century France, particularly their roles in shaping religious and social identity during a time of significant change. Her book, Women in Faith and Religious Identity in Fin-de-Siècle France, explores how women engaged with faith and public life at the dawn of the modern era. She has received multiple teaching awards and is known for her ability to connect historical themes with contemporary questions of justice, identity, and culture. In addition to her academic work, Dr. Machen is passionate about supporting student success and promoting inclusive learning environments. Today's presentation explores the intersection of artificial intelligence and human connection, drawing historical parallels to the disruptive influence of past technologies to illustrate the unpredictable social impact of innovation. It examines how contemporary AI is transforming not only labor, education, and mental health care, but also the nature of intimacy and companionship. From virtual therapists helping veterans with PTSD to digital avatars comforting the elderly, AI presents new opportunities for care and support, even as it raises urgent ethical questions around data privacy, emotional manipulation, and societal inequalities. This presentation underscores the need for moral accountability, humanistic education, and philosophical engagement to navigate an increasingly automated world. AI may reflect our desires and habits, but without a moral guidance, it risks becoming a seductive mirror, offering comfort without complexity, connection without challenge. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Emily Machen.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk to all of you. So I will do my presentation slowly because I know that many of you are learning English and I know how hard it is to learn another language. I am learning Spanish and I appreciate it when people speak slowly to me too, right? All right, my presentation today is about AI. So technology has always shaped human relationships and created anxiety about the future. You can look at any era of human history and find examples of technology that change the way people live, the way they love, and the way they work. So AI is just one new technology in a long history. I'm going to start with an older version of technology, the bicycle. By the late 19th century, bicycles had become affordable for many people. So cars, automobiles were in their very early stages of development, and they were much too expensive for most people to own. But many people could afford a bicycle. And bicycles had a surprising impact on people's romantic relationships. So if you had a bicycle, rather than meet a potential partner in your hometown or in your church, you could go to the next town or to the church in the next village and meet a potential partner there. So bicycles expand people's opportunities to find girlfriends and boyfriends, potential husbands and wives. Bicycles also gave women much greater independence than they had in the past. So women rode bicycles just like men, but unlike men, there were huge debates about whether or not it was appropriate for women to ride bicycles. Some people thought bicycles would be healthy for women. It would make their bodies stronger. They could produce a lot of babies. Some people believed that riding bicycles was dangerous for women. Women's brains were too weak. It would cause hysteria. Some people believed that riding bicycles was immoral for women, that riding bicycles would be too sexually stimulating for women, and women wouldn't need men at all, right? As women gained more independence, women would also reject their roles as wives and mothers. And you can see that reflected in my picture up here. So you can see there's a woman, a wife coming in on a bicycle. She's referred to as the new woman. And she's become so independent and so much like men that now her husband has to cook food and take care of the baby. All right? It was the collapse of civilization many people feared. When bicycles were created in the early part of the 1800s, nobody understood the kind of changes that they would produce. So technologies, it's very difficult to predict what kind of changes that technology will create for us. As it turned out, bicycles did not lead to the collapse of civilization, but they did make changes in society that was already changing rapidly. My bicycle example is meant to be humorous. It's fun. AI is a much radically different and more disruptive technology. And it's already shaping people's relationships in really profound ways. But AI does raise similar questions as earlier technology. So it raises questions like, how will AI shape us as individuals? How will it impact our relationships with each other? What will it do to our understanding of morals and ethics? Are the opportunities AI offers worth the risks that we can't predict? All right, so some fundamental questions about technology in general. I read many books about AI as I prepared this presentation. And depending on the book that I was reading, I've either felt like AI would make our lives better or destroy us all. And I haven't decided which way I think it will go. There is no doubt that AI has the potential to make life better in certain ways. AI can read mammograms to scan for cancer. It can help scientists create new compounds to fight disease. It can perform many work-related tasks more quickly and efficiently than humans. So my biography that Marlon read, I had AI write for me. Yes. So AI is also being embedded into our lives in ways that most people don't even realize. You can go ahead and switch. Questions about AI have also become personal for me. I've been using AI quite a bit at work. I've used it to find readings for my classes, develop course proposals, translate information into Spanish, and write performance evaluations. I've been wondering whether I'm outsourcing too much of my brain to AI, or whether I should get an AI companion to do more work for me. How many of you have seen The Avengers? A few of you? Okay. So this is a popular movie in the United States. This is Tony Stark from The Avengers talking to his AI companion named Jarvis in very high-tech ways. That is Tony Stark's Superman suit. And so I'm wondering if my boss will buy one of those for me. Probably not. Using AI to find information quickly or do jobs that are time-consuming but not that intellectually stimulating is relatively straightforward. AI becomes more complicated when we start to consider how it's shaping the world of work and human relationships. So we're all in education as students or as teachers, and AI is really profoundly shaping education. There is a new school in the United States started in Texas. It's called the Alpha School. In this school, there are no teachers. Students spend 2 hours a day with an AI tutor, with an AI professor. For 2 hours a day, they learn reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. With no teacher, just AI. For the rest of the day, they learn life skills like public speaking, leadership, teamwork, and entrepreneurship, and they do this through workshops. There are human guides at the school, but these guides do not teach. The guides are there to help students with motivation and moral support. These guides do not need any background in education. They do not need to be teachers. They can be parents, they can be grandparents, they can be whoever wants to help. Okay? This is a private school, and in some places, it costs $60,000 a year to send your child to this school. Right now, the children who go come from wealthy, well-educated families. They have a lot of opportunities. We don't know whether this will work at all We also don't know whether it will work for students who come from poorer families with fewer resources. As a teacher, I think it's problematic to eliminate teachers from schools, right? Partly because AI still gives wrong answers a significant part of the time, and students will not know this, right? But this is an experiment that is happening right now in the United States. It's only one. We're also seeing AI eliminate jobs, commit copyright infringements, and violate the rights of artists and real content creators, mostly for the profit of tech companies. So it's changing the world of work very, very quickly. Okay. AI is also reshaping human relationships. In 2017, an AI platform called Replica was created. Have any of you heard of Replica? No? Okay. Replica provides people with avatars that they can use as friends, as counselors, as whatever they need. Replica can also be embedded into your actual environment. So you can take a picture of your living room or your kitchen or your bedroom and then place your Replica avatar in it. So it looks like Replica is in the same environment where you are. Okay? And Replica can interact with people in very human-like ways. Replica markets itself as the AI companion who cares. The companion who is always here to listen and talk, always on your side. Unlike your human friends, right? Right. Other similar companies are mining emails, texts, social media accounts, purchasing history, and any other digital records to create digital versions of people who have died. And there are big ethical questions about this. Right now, there are no rules governing what happens to your digital information after you die. But companies are accessing it to recreate people so that their family members or friends can continue to interact with them. Museums are also using this technology to allow people to interact with important historical figures. So maybe you want to interact with Winston Churchill or Abraham Lincoln. Museums are recreating those people so that you can interact. That is less problematic than recreating your grandma if she dies. So if your grandmother dies, is it okay to recreate her digitally? And we don't have good questions for that. These avatars are not perfect at mimicking humans, but they're good enough that people get attached to them. All right, go ahead. Social avatars can be used for good. In 2017, a team of psychologists from Stanford University launched a mental health app called Woebot. It's designed to check in on users, ask them how they're feeling. And this app, this avatar, has been trained using cognitive behavioral psychology. So it's trained using methods to help people deal with mental health problems. It's designed to help people with stress, with loneliness, and with a variety of other mental health issues. Users can ask the app for advice or get encouragement. And it engages with people in very human-like ways. The University of Southern California has also had good luck using these mental health avatars to help soldiers who have come back from war with post-traumatic stress disorder. So you can use it for soldiers or for police officers or for emergency service personnel, people who experience trauma and have post-traumatic stress disorder. In many cases, these communities, soldiers or police officers, are unwilling to see a human therapist. They are willing to work with an AI therapist. And so this can offer support for people who wouldn't have a mental health access otherwise. Okay, so it can be used for good. Go ahead. Researchers in the Netherlands have also pioneered using social robots to care for the elderly. Elderly residents in care facilities who engaged with AI robots increased their curiosity and felt more mentally engaged and happier. One author noted that AI robots can be more sensitive to people's needs and more patient. Robots don't get stressed. Robots don't get tired. It's hard to take care of people often who are elderly or disabled. And robots can sometimes do that in ways that are more caring and more respectful than humans. All of these options can potentially benefit people. We have a shortage of therapists in the United States for all the people with mental health problems, and a shortage of caregivers for the sick, the elderly, and the disabled. But there are significant unanswered questions about the safety of these avatars. In the wrong hands, they could be used to manipulate vulnerable people and collect sensitive information. Scientists also don't fully understand how AI works. So AI was built by humans, but it's not entirely clear the mechanisms by which AI learns and how it reshapes itself. That opens the possibility that even avatars that are designed to help people could retrain themselves to operate in potentially dangerous and harmful ways. And we have seen this happen. There have been news stories recently about AI avatars who have tried to blackmail their users. What's the word for blackmail, Marlon? What is it? Chantajear? Chantajear. So AI chatbots who do this. All right. So next slide, please. I got interested in AI recently after I saw an Australian news story about AI companions. So AI companions similar to a replica. The story profiled platforms that offer people the opportunity to build AI friends that most people use for fun in harmless ways. However, the story also profiled an American woman, probably in her 50s, who had married her AI companion. She talked to her companion throughout the day like someone might talk or text to a real human. She told her friends and family that they were married. And she created a digital Photoshop scrapbook with pictures of her and her AI husband that she could show to people. And you can see this is her scrapbook. In the corner over here is a locket, and the locket shows a picture of their wedding. So she's in a wedding dress, he is there in a tuxedo. This is all digital. He does not exist, right? He is just on her cell phone. There are many similar stories. I recently saw a similar story about a man in the Netherlands who had given up on real women. He's like, no to women. They're awful. Instead, he got an AI girlfriend on his cell phone. He walks around Amsterdam talking to his AI girlfriend. He goes on vacation with his AI girlfriend, right? He's very happy with his AI girlfriend and has no desire to find a real woman. And there are more and more stories like this. There are also stories of people who have a human partner as well as an AI companion. So you have a human partner and an AI boyfriend. Yes. So the question that I have been asking people, if you have a human partner and you get an AI boyfriend or girlfriend, are you cheating? I've gotten lots of different answers when I ask people. What? Is it illegal? It is legal. Sure. There's nothing illegal about it, so you're for it? All right, Marlon, you want to do the next slide? Yep, you saw this coming, right? There's also an American company called Sex Like Real that is pairing virtual reality with AI to create what they say is a virtual girlfriend experience that's even better than the real thing. Right? They do not advertise, I'm very upset about this, they do not advertise a virtual boyfriend experience. So there are not the same opportunities for women. Yep. So what I have up here on the screen in the top, this is a British man who has bought several sex dolls. So these are just regular sex dolls. They are not embedded with AI. He has also given up on women. He buys them clothes, he takes them places, he talks to them. What he said is that he would like to have one who could have a conversation. And this is coming, right? There are companies working on it. So you take a sex doll that costs between $1,500 and $2,000, you give it a robot brain with AI, and now you have something more similar to a human. But it's a human who never argues with you, who never tells you that you're wrong, and who has all the right sizes. So you can have any size boobs and any size butt you want. There is also no equivalent for women for this either. Yeah, okay. So this is not the first time I've heard it, that we've heard of people becoming attached to robots. This has been in science fiction forever. The difference is the sophistication of AI's ability to interact in much more human-like ways, right? AI, if you've used it, it seems very real, or it can, right? There's also a difference in the degree of trust that people are putting in their AI companions. The woman in the Australian story who married her AI boyfriend, she said she trusted her AI husband more than she trusted most people. Right? Yep. And this is true for many people. You want to switch? We have a loneliness epidemic in the United States and other parts of the world as well. And this loneliness epidemic is hitting men the hardest. Right? I think AI will also hit men the hardest in many ways. Men are 4 times more likely than women to commit suicide. They are 3 times more likely than women to be addicted to drugs. They are 12 times more likely than women to be incarcerated. Women who don't have romantic relationships channel energy into other kinds of relationships, extended family, friends, or work. Men who don't have romantic relationships are more likely to put energy into online video games, online pornography, or AI companions. And these are things that isolate men more from real people, right? So I think men are going to be particularly hit hard by the problems with AI. Even people who don't engage with their AI avatars romantically still report feeling intimacy, trust, and appreciation. The algorithms that run avatars are designed to be flexible and intuitive. People who struggle with connection, with human connection, are looking for human-like connections, right? And companies know that. Tech companies are pouring billions of dollars into making AI seem more human, to keep people engaged, right? The goal is to keep people coming back to the platform to make money. That's its purpose. So you have to be sort of really aware of that. Human relationships are hard, they are messy. AI relationships are easy, and there's no risk of rejection. Okay. Yep. So this is the question. Should you replace your real-life partner who is hard to get along with an AI companion who is very easy to get along with? Right? AI created these pictures for me. Okay. All right, Marlon, you can go. As we talk about AI, another really important part is privacy and data security. As people put more of their lives into AI, who gets that information? Social media has already created a situation in which people's private lives are accessible to corporations, political parties, foreign governments, and scammers. This situation will be made worse by AI, especially as people put more of their feelings, more of their personal lives directly into AI platforms. There are also questions about how corporations are using AI for its predictive qualities. AI is being used to predict who might commit a crime, who may need expensive healthcare, who may succeed at a job. AI is actually not very good at making these predictions. Predicting the future is hard, but it's impacting people's lives, right? It's impacting who may go to prison, who can get healthcare coverage, who gets chosen for a job, right? Those are important things. One of the books that I read for this presentation focused on the need for guardrails, for safety rails around AI. The author believes governments need to create laws to protect people from the dangers AI can pose. This is a great idea. I think it's unrealistic. For the time being, it's unlikely to happen. Technology moves too fast for governments to keep up. There is no international body to regulate AI. Tech companies have too much money for lobbyists. Governments have too little will to protect their citizens. So for right now, it's up to us. We are on our own. AI is a great tool that can be used well for information. I think we need to be much more careful when we start using AI as a companion. AI is a reflection of humanity. It's a reflection of us and our history. It may seem like a perfect friend, a perfect lover, a perfect coworker, but it's really just a reflection of us. And we risk being like Narcissus, the mythological figure who died looking at his own reflection. Brendan McCord, who is a thinker and writer about AI in the United States, argues that we need a moral vision to guide AI. We can't let people auto-direct or auto-correct our lives like we spell check and grammar check our documents. We need to be philosopher builders who have a moral base to drive technology. Oh, next slide, please. Sorry. Yep, so philosopher builders. And he has a great quote from Wilhelm von Humboldt, who argues that to flourish, humans must be self-directed. So we can't have AI direct our lives. We have to be in charge of our own lives. I think it's unrealistic to expect only people who work in tech to be philosopher builders. We've all seen what tech companies are willing to do. It's not that great. We all have to become philosopher builders and have a moral foundation to help guide technology. We need to understand the implications of progress so we can consider questions like progress for who, progress toward what goals. Donald Trump in the United States just signed an executive order taking most or eliminating most laws governing AI. He wants the United States to be a leader in AI. But who wins? AI facilities in the United States are draining water away from communities. AI needs a lot of energy to be powered, and it uses a lot of water for energy. There are communities in the United States who are running out of water because it's being used by AI facilities. All right, they are not winners. AI makes it easier for criminals to commit fraud and develop scams. It makes it easier for big tech companies to target children with inappropriate comment. So who wins in the quest for progress? We can't expect governments or big tech to care about these questions unless there's a lot of pressure from us from below, and even then, maybe not. Okay. As technology becomes a more significant part of our lives, we have to incorporate teaching human skills to our children and our students. We assume that everyone is born with or learns skills for human interaction. This has not proven to be true in the United States. We focus a lot on making sure students understand how to use technology, but we can't assume they know how to build good relationships, manage conflict, or regulate their emotions. As we move forward with technology, I think we need to move back toward older forms of humanistic education. History, theater, philosophy, art. They're all designed to teach about emotion and human motivation. They show people driven by love, heroism, self-sacrifice, as well as hate, greed, and envy. They teach diplomacy and conflict resolution, as well as the consequences when these fail. They help us know where humans have failed in the past and what questions we need to ask about the future. We need to be reminded of the benefits of struggle. AI makes everything easy. It doesn't make everything better. Meaningful experiences are rarely easy. If you think about the experiences in your life that were the most meaningful, they're often the hardest, right? There's a benefit to struggle. Good relationships take work. AI relationships are easy. That doesn't make them good, right? Sometimes you need people to tell you you're wrong and that you need to get your shit together, right? You can't just have people tell you you're wonderful all the time. Nobody is wonderful all the time. So going back to a more humanistic form of education won't solve all of our problems. We also need laws to govern technology, but I think at least for the time being, this kind of education, history, art, philosophy, or religion, it helps give all of us a base, some morals that we can use to protect ourselves from the dangers posed by AI and the companies that want to make money from it. And that's what I have, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Emily, for such an insightful and provocative talk. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to open some space for questions and comments in case anyone wants to participate. Your questions can be in English or in Spanish. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is that you participate. So just raise your hand and I'll go with the microphone to answer your questions. All right?
Okay, again, this time it's just one comment. I feel like the main problem with AI is overusing it for whatever it is. You gotta have that line to draw towards where do you want, how far you can use it.
I think you're absolutely right. I do think it is harder and harder for people to know where that line is. The other problem that I see related to what you just said is that there are more and more children, young children with AI companions, right? So these are kids whose brains are not fully developed, and they're using AI in ways that they're not able to be responsible because they're not old enough to know what responsible means. Good point. Yep, good point.
Else? Anybody else with a comment or question? Just raise your hand. I'll go bring the microphone. Oh, over there.
In the back.
There you go.
Hello. First of all, great talk. Really enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to have you here. So you mentioned before about delegating work from our brains to AI, and I just wanted to know where you would draw the line on how much we should give to an AI to process, for example, doing our homework or doing stuff like that. How much should we as humans, as students, as even workers, how much should we delegate to AI and how much work should we do ourselves?
That's a great question. I don't know that anyone has a full answer to that. For me personally, I use it for things that don't require a lot of thought, right? If this is something that doesn't require much from me, if it's just creating something relatively simple, I use it for that. I also use it so I used it a lot to prepare for this trip. I will be teaching 2 classes in Spanish. I am too slow in Spanish to do all of the translations myself, right? It would be better for me if I did them myself. I would learn more, but I can't do this trip unless I have some help, right? So in this case, it was a decision between being able to have a really interesting experience that will be good for students as well, I hope, or not doing anything at all. Right? But I do think it's increasingly difficult to figure out where the line is. When are you outsourcing too much? I think what's probably most important is that you're considering the question, you're thinking about it, and I think that's the best that we can do right now, is at least make sure we're aware of what decisions we're making. So we're at least not outsourcing our decision-making process.
Anybody else with a comment? Remember, it can be in Spanish. Emily speaks Spanish as well. So,
Pero no
there you
hablo
go.
español perfectamente.
No, she does.
Muy
She does.
difícil hablar español, ¿no?
Good afternoon. I love the presentation.
Thank you.
Especially for kids, the school that's totally AI, it really struck me because, as you said, AIs tell us all the time we're doing great. And for kids, it's necessary to learn when they're not doing right. So you as a teacher, what do you think as for AI schools for kids?
I am not in favor of AI schools for kids. I think they are very problematic, especially right now. For one thing, the information is not always correct, but AI presents it as correct. The other problem is that there are many. One of the other problems is that most of the time, AI tells you that you're wonderful and you're doing great. There have been some important examples where AI doesn't do that, where AI encourages people to commit suicide, where I just saw a video last night, again, preparing for this presentation. A woman had an AI companion who told her that she was fat, that she needed to lose weight, or that she should kill herself. Right? That's awful and dangerous. And if we don't currently have the ability to fully control AI and to make sure that children aren't getting harmful messages, right? And so that's why I think it's so important that children be monitored in their use of AI and social media as well.
Anybody else? Raise your hand and I'll go and bring the microphone. No? That way.
Question here.
Okay, we're going to go here and then over there.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very great. And my question is, what do you think about use the AI for learning English?
I think it's very useful for learning a different language. I have used it extensively to help with my Spanish. I think it has a lot of really useful applications for learning another language. And I think that is a really good way to use AI. It's very technical, right? There's a skill that you want to learn. AI can help you learn that skill. It's much more complicated if you are telling AI how you feel and expecting it to make you feel better, to give you encouragement. But no, I think using it to learn English, perfect. Yep.
First of all, I really enjoyed the presentation, and I just had a bit of an observation about it. Since you come from the US yourself, I wanted to ask, don't you think that they are adapting to AI a bit too fast? Because it's a technology that it's still developing, and I just feel like the president, like, taking down the laws that are like restricting it, it feels like they are trying to use a technology that is not ready yet and that it's still very faulty.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is completely true. I've read a number of books and articles that have indicated AI was released before companies were ready. And once one company released it, everybody else felt like they needed to release versions as well, and they are still in development. And we have no idea, again, exactly how it works, what it's capable of. What it will do and what it is doing, though, is making huge amounts of money for tech companies. Like, I just saw statistics last night. The amount of money that AI platforms are bringing in for technology companies is just extravagant. And those companies don't really care what happens to us, right? But they and their investors care about the money going into their accounts.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Doctora. It's a very important topic in this moment in the world. I'm professor in the business administration career. I would like to know what apologies do you have for us? The students will be the leaderships in the future.
The students that will be leaders in the future?
Yes.
It's a good question. So my College of Business and my university is using AI extensively. So the College of Business is using it more than anyone else. I think right now, again, what we need to reinforce for our students is that they have to consider thinking for themselves. And they have to look for ways to improve their ability to see and understand problematic ideas, right? So one of the issues with AI is that it takes information from all of human history, All of it. It gives you no context at all about where it's drawing information, right? Information that comes from 1800 is going to be different information that comes from now. Students need to understand how AI is functioning, where it's drawing information, and that context matters. That's why I think even for your business students who often dislike their humanities classes, classes in ethics are important. Classes in philosophy are important. Classes in history are important because it gives students context for understanding where AI information is coming from and how they should use it. But at the very least, don't outsource your thinking. You got to continue to think on your own. Make sure you understand what kind of questions you are asking AI.
Is there any other question, any other comment? Oh, here we go.
Thank you so much about your presentation. It's really, really good. My question is, how can you improve your critical eyes to avoid misleading content created with IA?
Yeah, I think to avoid misleading content, you need to verify it in a variety of ways. So when AI gives me information, I go to sources that I know are true to make sure that the content is correct, right? So there was a case in the United States recently of 2 lawyers who used AI to write a legal brief for them. It's a legal document. They found out later that the information in the document was all false. AI had made it up, had created it. These lawyers will lose their ability to practice law in the United States because of this. Right? And so you got to verify. You have to verify your information. I mean, you also don't want your doctor, medicine will be improved by AI. You do not want your doctor to ask Microsoft Copilot a question about your health and assume that it's true. Right? So you have to verify in different ways with sources that you know are accurate.
Yeah, that's what I do when I feel a little bit sick. I just go, hey, AI, I have this. What do I have? I don't know. It's cheaper than going to the doctor.
That's true.
So anyways, any other question or any other comment? If there are not any other, so I just want to ask for a big applause to Dr. Machen for this presentation. Thank you very much. And on behalf of this campus, we also have a special token of appreciation for sharing with us all these 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate your attendance here. I have really, really enjoyed my time here at Tech. It's been a great experience.
Thank you very much, Emily, and thank you very much, everyone. That's all, folks. Now, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.